Hey everyone, we're here with Karma and two very special little kittens. Tell everybody why they're so special.
Well, both of these little ones were literally on the brink of death. They both got very ill. Kittens can crash very quickly, whether it's diarrhea, vomiting, or causes unknown. And sometimes you kind of have to do some guesswork to figure out what's wrong. This is kind of gross, but it's nature. But a lot of times if a kitten has diarrhea, mom eats it, so you don't know that that's what's going on. You just maybe see dehydration or sore back ends.
They eat the diarrhea, not the kitten.
Yes, this is true. Anyway, this is little Sarah, and a couple weeks ago, she just got very ill and kind of listless and wasn't wanting to eat. We found vomit once in a while, dehydration. We took her into the vet, and she was negative for panleuk. That's panleukopenia. That's a very deadly disease for kittens. But she was negative for that, which was what they thought might be the cause.
How do they test for that?
So they take a fecal sample and put it in, kind of like the SNAP test that we do for FELV and FIV, except it's feces, not blood, and then it's mixed with conjugate, and they get an answer in about 10 minutes. So they just gave me some recommendations, fluids, medication, even though their fecals had tested negative for everything, just some kind of basic deworming. And
you want to play, huh?
We'll let you go in just a minute. And just over the weekend, she still continued to crash and just get worse, and her gums were very pale, which can mean anemia. She didn't have fleas, so we just let her be spoiled and kept her with mom. Went ahead and weaned her two bigger brothers and sisters.
Ooh, you got all the mama, huh?
Yeah. And we just kept a vigil on her and gave her some pet tinic, which helps with the iron, and the Humane Society also had given me some royal jelly and ginseng. At this point I'm ready to try anything, so she was getting that. That's going to go on our wish list, most of those items. And we basically, at the recommendation of the Humane Society, just bolused her with every possible deworming anti-diarrheal medication we could, and we were checking on her like every couple hours. And all of a sudden she started to perk up and pick up weight, and after a couple days she was ready to go back into the cabana. She's a little bit
raising Kane out here in the cabana?
She's a little bit smaller than her brothers and sisters, but that's fine as long as she's healthy.
Which
okay.
ones are her?
The two gray ones.
So the one having a battle in the litter box over there?
Yes, and then there's a little long-haired, this guy. Simon, back here. And then this little guy is Adam, also known as Viper. The interns renamed him. He kind of was a very strange case. He woke up last Friday feeling sick, and by the time I got to him, he was hanging upside down from the cage and running all over the place, and very mad that he had been left behind, because my instructions were to not take him to the cabana and let me take a look at him. I took him to the vet, and again, he was a negative panleuk. They didn't see anything wrong. Basically gave the same instructions they did with her. Go ahead and start some deworming kind of things. And I brought him back to the cabana, and he did just fine until Saturday afternoon, and he started vomiting and acting very sick. So we brought him home and gave him some extra wet food. Wet food's about 90% water, and so that helps with hydration. Gave him some wet food.
Oh, that's going to feel great. Neil's climbing up your leg there.
Just had everybody watch him. I was not going to be available that night, so I left the experienced intern with phone numbers to call and such, and she texted me right before I left, said he was doing great. And so, oh, good. And then Sunday morning, I got a text, oh, he's not doing so good. So I went and checked him and basically did the same protocol that the Humane Society had given me with the other little one. We did fluids, we started the pet tinic, more wet food. He had, at that time, I could tell he had horrible diarrhea. And so I just started bolusing the anti-diarrheal stuff. And I came back to check on him probably about 3 o'clock or something. And he was very, very cold. He was ataxic, which meant he was very wobbly. He couldn't walk a straight line. He was very weak, and gums were very pale. He was just declining by the minute. So I grabbed him, took him home with me. One of the best ways to get body temperature up is body to body. And so I held him next to me and put a heating pad against him and held him that way for about an hour. And there wasn't much improvement. And of course, this is the end of the day on a Sunday, so I'm not going to be able to take him in to the Humane Society. And at this point, I'd called the interns and said, this guy's probably not going to make it. Would you like me to bring him back to you so you can, hold him, say goodbyes, whatever. And so they were going to talk about it, and 20 minutes later his body temperature had come back up, and all of a sudden his head popped up and he was like, where's food? And so I put a dish of food, and he ravenously ate about 2 teaspoons of some critical care food. And then he kind of started walking around, and I have 5 of my own cats that aren't always very well behaved. And the doors in my house are a little bit high up, and he started walking through and trying to poke his head through, and I want to play with those cats. So I called the interns back and said, he's suddenly perked up and you guys are getting him back because he's tormenting my cats. And those interns deserve an absolute medal. They took turns staying up every 2 hours with him and making sure he ate and stayed warm. And he began a steady increase in getting better. And so then on Wednesday, he got to go back to the cabana. And here he is. He's been steadily gaining weight. I keep the Explore camera on at my desk so I can just watch for any kittens like possibly getting tangled there.
Hey, you.
Or getting into fights, or a cat getting sick, or something happening. And so I've been watching him, and he has just been playing and playing and playing. And so those are our 2 little miracles.
Well, it's amazing
You go play.
that they came right back from the brink of death, and it wouldn't have happened without all of the care that you guys gave them. So thank you very much, and thank you everybody who has donated to our kitten program and
Yes.
who provides all of those medications for us that we can take care of these guys. Oh, you're gonna get my socks too. And then we were going to do this yesterday, but yesterday turned out to be a really long day. And where were you when you got the call?
I was in the grocery store.
Oh, no.
And it was just at the, I don't know if I can say the name of the store. It was just at the store about 5 minutes away. So I said I went away, and I took everything I had in my basket and threw it back on the shelves and hopped in the car.
I didn't know that. And what she's talking about is we got a call last night that a bobcat had been hit by a car, and a detective was with the cat. He wasn't in a marked car, but the cat had been hit on the side of the road and was laying in the road, and so he was blocking traffic so that nobody would run over the cat again. And so because it was an hour away, I asked, actually an hour and 5 minutes away, I asked him if he would send us a picture of the cat so that we could make sure that it was indeed a bobcat. And in fact, it was the second bobcat call we'd gotten that day. I'll tell you about the other one in a minute. But it was a bobcat, and he said when he tried to take the picture, the cat ran out into the median in the road. And so we rushed out there. We took Karma and Lauren and Jamie and Gail and Victor. And because the cat could run, we needed a lot of people with nets. And so we got a call on the way down there that they had called another facility that was a lot closer. And I said, well, you know, there's 6 of us, and who knows whether or not these people will be able to catch the cat. So we're going to keep heading that way. And if they catch it, please let us know. And sure enough, 5 minutes out from getting there, they called and said that they had captured the cat and sent it with the rehabber to the vet. So I've tried to reach out to the rehabber to let them know that we'd be happy to partner with them so that they could utilize all of the great running space that we have for cats, but I have not heard back from them yet. So I'll keep trying, make sure that the cat's okay, and I'll let you guys know. Unfortunately, the other bobcat call that we got did not go so well. That one was early in the morning, and the person who called me was from a school, and she said that there was a bobcat underneath one of the portable buildings, and the school was on lockdown, and they had called the FWC, but the FWC had told them that they weren't coming out. Is that the little sick one eating over there?
Yes,
the one
it
that was
is.
sick? So we started again to get all ready to go out to rescue that bobcat, and the FWC did show up, and as they were pulling it out from underneath the portable, the cat died. It was really badly injured, looked like maybe it had been torn up by a pack of coyotes or something. So we were really sad that that one couldn't be saved.
No sneezing. No sneezing.
These guys are going nuts. I was looking in here earlier and everybody was sleeping, but I think now that it's warmed up a bit, they're all like, woohoo!
Yeah, they were all piled up in one of those bowls.
And they have like a heater over there behind Karma. You can see if they really get cold, or they can go in that building down there. And I apologize, you guys. I don't know if it's something that's going on with the Facebook page. I can see there's a bunch of people watching, but I can't see any of your comments. And even though Luana is trying to knows that we're live, I don't know if she can answer your comments, if she can see them, because of the fact that we're having so much trouble with our Facebook page today. We are supposed to be getting an upgrade in Facebook, and so I'm hoping that this is what that is. And I've contacted the people that said they were doing the upgrade to see if maybe this is what it is. But I'll be real curious to see how it is. I can see, yeah, Luana says she's there, so that's good. I guess that means she can see what's going on, which is great. Any more kitten news?
So, did you want me to talk about the mom and the surrogate mom, or? Sure. So I can, and I'm going to be sending a thing to Luana about that too. We also had another miracle. We have, and these guys you don't see, and it concerns some very important parts of our foster program that people on Explore don't get to see, which is our moms.
The camera's on this side.
Oh, okay. They work tirelessly taking care of these kittens, but they never get to come to the cabana. Last week...
why do they not come to the cabana?
So, because the kittens are too young.
I mean, the moms.
Oh, well, the moms, we don't want them around other kittens. And, of course, part of going to the cabana is we're beginning the beginning stages of weaning. And if we've got a mom in here, the kittens are going to try to eat. So, Friday morning, the same morning that little Viper was sick, I also got a call that one of the moms was down and ataxic and had soiled herself, which was something very unusual for her.
Oh, wow.
She was a very clean cat. And so I took her as well as Viper. This is Tiny Tom looking at the camera. To the doctor, and unfortunately she wound up diabetic. Her blood sugar was over 500, and really the only option for that is euthanasia. She wasn't going to be able to care for her kittens, and the Humane Society doesn't hospitalize, and she wouldn't be considered adoptable. In a lot of cases, diabetes is very difficult to manage, and anybody adopting her would be with a several $100 bill up front. So unfortunately we needed to humanely euthanize her, and this also left 3 little orphans. They're about 4 to 5 weeks old, which is old enough for weaning, but I believe they were a little bit stunted, probably because as hard as she was trying, she probably didn't have the proper nutrients in her milk. And she wasn't keeping them terribly clean, although she tried, but if she wasn't feeling well herself. So we thought, well, we've got another mom with just 2 kittens that are about the same age. So let's see if, first of all, if she'll take them, because there's nothing that beats mom's milk, even the best formula. And so one of the more experienced interns and I went and we rubbed her kittens on the new kittens, try and make her smell like them, and put them in with her, and they instantly, they might be tiny, but they were little spitfires. They instantly met her with and spitting and swatting at her and hissing at the new little brother or the two little brothers. But boy, she just wasn't having any of that. She was like, "You need a bath," and she picked them up and put them down and started cleaning them instantly, letting them nurse. It's been really, really awesome to see. They're really starting to thrive. They look clean. They're fluffier. They're still not quite as big as her two kittens that are actually younger. That gives you an idea of maybe the quality of the milk the other mom had. But now we are actually working on the weaning process. They love baby cat food. Thank you, Debbie Clark, for giving us a gift certificate from PetSmart. That's very special cat food with teeny tiny kibbles that helps with weaning onto dry food.
Oh, wow. So it's like wet and dry?
No, it's just a dry food.
Oh.
But they're doing good. They're gaining weight. Hopefully we'll see them in a cabana in a couple weeks. They normally would have been scheduled to this next week, but since they're a little bit stunted, they need to be a pound before I can give them their vaccines and such. So that's that news.
And just to clarify, you said we euthanize them, but we don't actually euthanize.
We don't. The Humane Society does.
Yeah. The cats belong to them, and we foster them and try to get as many of them.
Whoops. Well, that's a great toy, isn't it, Maverick?
That was almost the end of the Rilo camera.
So, and if anybody wants to adopt any of these kittens, or especially our moms, they kind of tend to get ignored, you can email me at kitten@bigcatrescue.org.
And even the moms, even though it's harder for them to get homes, I think so far, like all of them that you've sent back.
Every one of them have gotten adopted.
And I think that too is because you guys give them so much attention and love, and it's such a stressful time for the moms because here they've been dumped and they've got this whole litter of babies depending on them, and you guys just make that so much easier for them that when it is time for them to find homes, they can trust people again. You have the back. Are you Tiny Tom?
That's Tiny Tom.
You've got the tiniest little face. Oh, and the tiniest little paws. All right. Well, thank you, everybody. I hate to turn off the camera. These guys are having so much fun. You guys can go look on that camera up there. That's the Explore camera. If you go to explore.org/bigcatrescue, all of our cameras are there. And I just got a note from Explore asking me to clean the feeding station camera. So I'm going to see if I can grab some supplies and do that as I go back to my office.
Where you going? Where you going? Say hi.
You guys are hilarious.
Oh, they've just been having so much fun. Are you stuck?
Cat fight.
Are you stuck? Oh, those teeth are very sharp. You have sharp little teeth.
Yeah, they use them on each other all the time, and they don't realize that we are not as tough as they are.
Oh, I think that's outside.
Squirrel?
Yeah.
Are you going to get that squirrel? I'm going to get it.
Well, look at you climbing and climbing. He was not feeling up to that a few days ago.
What a difference.
It's bath time.
those are cute socks.
Oh yeah, one of the, I think they came from one of our donors.
Is it Barbara? She sent me a bunch of
I think it was Barbara Orloff.
butterfly socks.
Mm-hmm. I think it was Barbara Orloff. I love them.
I think Deb sent some too that had little cats on them.
Mm-hmm. Stinkers. I should go see if my computer's working.
All right, everybody, we're gonna sign off.